By the time you feel thirsty, you are already behind. Thirst is a smoke alarm that goes off after the fire has started. The moment your mouth runs dry, you have usually already lost 1 to 2% of your body's water, enough to measurably drop your focus and dim your mood. You just never connect the two. 75% of Americans live like this, chronically dehydrated, not once in a while, every day. This is the story of the molecule keeping you alive, and why most of us are quietly failing it. 60% of the adult human body is water. That number sounds familiar. What it is doing in there does not. Water has 5 jobs, and none of them are optional. It carries oxygen and nutrients to every cell and hauls the waste back out. It holds your core temperature steady through sweat. It lubricates every joint you move. It splits your food into usable parts. And it cushions your brain inside your skull. Water is not the backdrop of life. Water is the mechanism. Your blood plasma, the river carrying oxygen and glucose to every cell, is 83% water. And your brain, the organ running this entire operation, is 75% water, 3/4, which is exactly why losing even a sliver of it hits so hard, so fast. Your kidneys filter 40 gallons of blood every single day, the volume of a small hot tub, pushed through 2 organs the size of your fist. They need water to do it. Starve them of it, and the filtration slows. The waste that was supposed to leave begins to stay. 11% of American men will form a kidney stone in their lifetime. The single most effective prevention is not a pill. It is water. Which raises the obvious question. If water is this important, why is almost everyone short on it and nobody notices? Here is the problem. The human thirst mechanism is slow. By the time your brain registers thirst and sends the signal to your throat, you have already lost 1 to 2% of your body's water. That sounds small. It is not. At 1 to 2% dehydration, studies show cognitive focus drops 10 to 20%. Reaction time slows. Short-term memory weakens. Your mood shifts toward irritability. You feel a general fog that you might blame on not enough sleep or too much screen time or the wrong breakfast. The actual culprit is sitting in your kitchen, waiting to be poured. At 2 to 3% loss, physical output falls by roughly 20%. Your muscles receive less oxygen. Heat builds inside the body faster. Athletes have known this for decades. Even mild dehydration measurably degrades performance before the athlete feels anything unusual. At 5%, confusion sets in. At 10%, the situation becomes a medical emergency. Most people living in a state of chronic 1 to 2% dehydration have no idea they are there. They have normalized a diminished version of themselves. Most people never get the warning in time. The thirst signal fires late, and that 1 to 2% deficit settles in as a quiet, permanent background state, one they have long since stopped noticing. Simply notices. The fog rolls in, and he cannot say why. He reaches for a bottle taller than he is and takes a single sip, and the fog lifts. That one sip. That is where everything in this episode begins. For decades, the advice was 8 glasses a day, 8 by 8, 8 ounces, 8 times. Simple, memorable, and according to every major scientific body, not based on meaningful evidence. The National Academies of Sciences now recommends 3.7 liters per day for men and 2.7 liters for women. Total water intake, including food. But even that number is an average across a population. Your real number depends on your body weight. The formula used by many practitioners is straightforward. Take your body weight in pounds, divide by 2. That number in ounces is your baseline daily water target. Now, not all water is created equal, and this is where most hydration advice goes silent. Plain water hydrates. But water moves in and out of cells through osmosis, which means the minerals dissolved in that water matter enormously. Sodium, potassium, and magnesium act as electrolytes. They determine how much water your cells actually absorb versus how much passes through. Someone who drinks 2 liters of plain water and sweats heavily may still be functionally dehydrated because the electrolyte gradient is off. This is why endurance athletes developed specialized drinks. It is not marketing, it is chemistry. What about sparkling water? Coffee? Tea? Sparkling water hydrates identically to still water. The carbonation changes the texture, not the chemistry. Coffee and tea are mild diuretics, but in normal amounts, the fluid still counts toward your total. Pair each cup with a glass of water and you come out ahead. The one drink that works against you is alcohol. It is a diuretic that pulls more water out of you than it puts in, which is why every round at the bar quietly deepens the deficit. Before we go on, Simply has something for you. He drags a scroll twice his height into frame and unrolls it. 14 days, 1 habit. We built a free 14-day hydration system, your daily target, the timing that gets the most out of each glass, and how to adjust when you are sweating hard. Link in the description. No email required. Let us keep going. In 2010, a team led by Daisy Dennis published one of the most cited studies on water and weight loss. Participants who drank 500 milliliters of water 30 minutes before each meal lost 44% more weight over 12 weeks than those who did not. Same diet, same activity. The only variable was pre-meal water. The mechanism is partly mechanical. The stomach fills, hunger signals moderate, and partly metabolic. A year earlier, Boschman and colleagues measured what happens to metabolism in the 30 to 40 minutes after drinking 500 milliliters of water. They found a roughly 30% boost in metabolic rate during that window, driven by the energy cost of warming the ingested water to body temperature. It is not a miracle. 7 to 9 additional calories burned per glass of water is not going to reshape anyone's body on its own. But across a year, across a lifetime, those small metabolic nudges accumulate. Your skin is 64% water. Your cartilage, the cushion between every joint, is 80% water. These are not static reservoirs. They fluctuate daily based on what you drink. Chronic dehydration concentrates the skin's outer layer, reducing its elasticity. It thickens synovial fluid, which is the lubricant inside joints. People who report morning joint stiffness that fades as the day progresses are often describing joints that slowly rehydrate from overnight water loss. The 14-day system is almost insultingly simple. 1 32-ounce bottle. Fill it. Finish it by noon. Refill it. Finish it by evening. That is the whole tracking system. No app, no math, no counting glasses. 2 weeks is the number that matters. Behavioral research shows that is about how long a simple daily action needs before it runs on its own. Mark the days. Then stop marking them. It will be a habit. The returns arrive on their own schedule. Steadier energy within days. Looser joints and clearer skin over the following weeks. And underneath all of it, those 40-gallon-a-day kidneys finally working with enough water to do their job. Water kept you alive before you knew the word for alive. It runs your brain, oils your joints, filters your blood, and quietly undoes the damage that years of running dry have done. The molecule is simple. The habit is simple. The science, as you have just seen, is anything but. Next week, something stranger. A fruit was once dragged in front of the highest court in America and walked out legally redefined as something it biologically is not. One unanimous ruling. One 10% tariff. A century of American dinner plates quietly rearranged by 9 judges who knew they were wrong. Simply does not understand it yet either. Episode 2. The Tomato.